these ones. No. Oh, that's the one.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome back. My name is Nate Miller, and this is Givin Takes, the online sports show where every week I sit down with you all and, well, we talk about sports. This is the 10th time we've sat together and talk about sports. This is the 10th episode of Givin Takes. Small milestone, but a milestone at that. We've hit double digits. If this show was a child, it would be a fourth grader right now. So that's pretty cool, 10 episodes, 10 weeks. That's almost 3 months we've been going at this thing. Probably around more 2.5 if you want to get specific. But yeah, 10th episode. I think it's pretty cool. Most people dress up for special occasions, but I figured I'm already dressed up every time you see me. So I figured to make it different, I would dress down for the special occasion. That's right. I didn't run out of ties. All my ties didn't go up in flames. I went no tie on purpose. We're dressing down for the occasion, the special episode 10. It's fun. And before we get in to the special aspects of this episode, I want to let you know that I do have that schedule confirmed now for me on the Empty the Bench network. I told y'all last week that I was still fine-tuning some things and that I had some small things I had to figure out about when I'd be where, but this week I got a much, much better idea of when that's going to be, a pretty ironclad schedule, so I'm going to give that to you now. Through some Sundays in May, I haven't confirmed which dates yet, but Sundays in May around 5 p.m. it is, I believe. You can catch me on some episodes of the Empty the Bench Lounge, which is about a 2-3 hour show where we just talk sports. That's basically it. No special niche to it. It's just me and a couple of the other network guys. We sit down and we talk about sports for a few hours, so that's a fun show to tune into. Then I'm going to be hosting Unnecessary Wagers with my co-host Connor Rowland. I told you all about that last week. That's every Friday at 5 p.m. Had some good picks this last week. Accurately predicted that Connor Griffin was going to homer on his birthday and that the Pirates were going to win and that Alperen Sengun's PRA was going to go over. It was great. I had a bunch of picks go correct. Hopefully I can keep that up going into week 2 of that show. That would be nice. Don't want to be losing money. I want to hopefully continue to make it. And then, of course, last but not least, you can catch me on Hitting for the Cycle, which is the baseball show that I do with the Empty the Bench network. It's great fun there. Me and the guys who run it, it's so much fun every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. You can catch me on that. There's been some fluctuation with the date recently. It was Friday last week. It was Thursday before. It might be Friday this week. Hasn't been confirmed yet, but unless something changes, it's normally going to be Thursday at 9 a.m. So that's when you're going to be able to catch me over on the ETB network to catch up with all the stuff I do there and everything. Follow them on, where am I going to tell you to follow them first? How about I tell you about Twitter and TikTok and Instagram? You can follow them at the ETB network and then youtube.com/ETB network. You know all that. And you know to follow me on Givin Takes too, at Givin Takes on both Instagram and TikTok to find my stuff there. And let's get into why this episode's special. 10th episode, it's the State of the Union special. That's right, you probably read the title whenever you clicked on the video. Maybe you skimmed over and you were just like, oh, new Givin Takes. Like, you had to go so fast into the video that you didn't even pay attention to the title. First off, thank you for being so excited about it if that were the case. But just in case it wasn't the case and you didn't see, this is State of the Union special. I'm doing 9 State of the Unions today because I originally had an episode planned out and then I was like, what's the 10th episode? Like, small milestone, first milestone for me doing something like this. I was like, I want to do something like kind of special. And I tried to figure out some stuff with guests. It didn't really work out timing-wise given I'm filming this at 11:30 p.m. on a Monday. But I thought, hey, there's a lot of teams playing right now in every sport. There's playoffs for NBA and NHL right now, and there's a lot of baseball teams who aren't playing too hot. So let's just do a whole bunch of State of the Union. So I scrapped what I had. I kind of built it back up from scratch fairly last minute because I had this idea like pretty close to when I was going to click record, and I was like, wait, you know what? This is such a better idea. So I hope the gamble pays off, and this is still a great 10th episode. But I'm excited for this. It's something new. It's something fun. It's the 10th episode. So let's get in now to the starting 9 of the State of the Union special. Leading us off, our first team we are going to talk about is the Detroit Pistons. They are currently down 3-1. That game just concluded. It is now 3-1 Magic in that series. There are some issues that need to be talked about there. Secondly, we're going to be talking about the Denver Nuggets. They are down 3-1 in the series to the Minnesota Timberwolves. However, with Anthony Edwards out at the moment, it's looking like there's some room for comeback potential, but there's still a long ways to go down 3-1. Then we're going to be talking about the Seattle Mariners. They have still not eclipsed 500 yet on this young season. Okay, I just accidentally closed all my Google tabs I had open. That's great. We're gonna have to work on the fly here a little bit. All right. Getting back to what I was talking about. All right. We're gonna be talking about the Seattle Mariners third. They still have yet to eclipse that over 500 mark. They started off the season slow. They've continued to be slow. They're not really performing that well against teams who are over 500. And honestly, they don't even look that good against some other teams that are under 500 right now. They're currently getting blown out by the Twins as I record this. So we're going to need to talk about the reigning AL runners-up. And then fourth, we're going to be talking about another team in the AL West. It's going to be the Houston Astros. They are currently at the bottom of that division. I know injuries have riddled them, but with all the talk of who they're going to trade and who they're going to sell at the deadline, that's never good whenever you've kind of already been penciled in as a seller on April 27th. That's not a good thing. So we're going to need to talk about Houston, and then we're going to move over into the hockey scape and talk about the Edmonton Oilers, who are currently down 3-1 in the series against the Anaheim Ducks. I had the Oilers going all the way to the Western Conference Final. I know their goaltending is bad, but going down 3-1 is just not what I expected. And then sixth, we're going to be talking about the Houston Rockets. I give you a little break. I don't go back-to-back Houston. I give you Houston, a little break. We go up to Canada, and then we go back down to Texas to talk about the Rockets. Another team that's down 3-1 in the series. They are losing to the injury-riddled Lakers, who are getting healthier every single game, and that's turning them more into the full-force Lakers again that got them this 3 seed. But still, Houston, you have a problem. And then seventh, our main State of the Union, because there's a lot of the State of the Unions, but there's one that stands out above the rest, and of course I had to put it in the 7th spot. It's the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies are so bad right now, it's ridiculous. I mean, they were bad for a while, but the Mets kind of overshadowed them because they were playing worse in the same division, and then the Mets won a game, just the one game, but they won a game, and that shifted all the focus back to Philadelphia, who, yes, they won a game as well, but one game's not enough. One game's not enough. And then eighth, we're going to be talking about my Pittsburgh Penguins. They were down 3-0 in the series to the Philadelphia Flyers. They just got done clawing their way back to 3-2 and forcing a Game 6 in Philly. They're on the rise, but we still need to talk about why they got down to 3-0 and how to stop the Flyers from winning this series. But then on the flip side, for our 9th State of the Union of the episode and our final topic, we're going to be talking about the other side of that matchup, the Philadelphia Flyers, a team that I despise. I'm going to be talking to because I would be remiss if I didn't comment on the fact that they're just blowing this series. They were up 3-0. Now all of a sudden you have to go back home and defend again in a Game 6 where you should feel mentally like you're on the attack and you're putting the Penguins down. But with how the Penguins have clawed back, now it really just feels like you're in don't lose mode and not win mode. And then after all that's said and done, for the 10th time on this show, it will be the top 10. And you know what? Because this is a special episode, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what the topic is right now. That's right. I'm not going to make you wait to the end. You're not going to have to skip. If you want to know what it is, you're going to hear it right now. The topic is sports months. I'm going to be ranking not all 12 months because it's a top 10, so 2 had to get out of here because they just don't quite make the cut. But I took the top 10 sports months out of the year. That's going to be the top 10 later on in the episode. Hopefully this teaser gets you excited, and who knows, maybe it entices you to stay. Take a load off, have a good time, and listen to me talk about sports for an hour. And not just any old sports hour, the State of the Union special. I'm excited. Whew, got the water in me. I'm ready to go. I'm excited. I can't wait for this. Episode 10, let's get it going. Let's lead it off with the Detroit Pistons. They were my Eastern Conference champion. I had them winning the East pretty handily. Like, in my bracket predictions as well, I don't even think I had them going to 7 games in a series. I had them taking care of the Magic in 5 games. And now they have to go to 7 with the Magic if they want a chance at advancing to the second round. I mean, what is going on? You have Cade Cunningham back. Jalen Duren is healthy. Like, you got your guys that have been carrying you throughout this. And I'll just get this out of the way now, so forgive me if I have to keep looking over here, but I did it. I was telling the truth. I did accidentally close all the Google tabs I had open for research because I didn't put them into the document I normally do. I was like spam research and stuff at the end, and I just have the tabs open, and I closed all of them. So you might have to bear with me while I Google some things during this episode. I hope that doesn't ruin anything, but had to get that out of the way. So when you keep seeing me looking over like that, you know, that's what I'm doing. I need to research some stuff I've already researched, but I digress. So we're going to go into the Pistons game log, which I had up earlier, and we're going to talk about this series, what's been going wrong, how they've been losing. So tonight they lost 88-94 in Orlando. And it wasn't even like, I mean, Asar Thompson, you only had 6 points in 32 minutes. That's a problem. You went 2 for 8 from the field. You only took 8 shots over the course of 32 minutes. That's a problem. Like, you're minus 16 and you're plus minus today. Like, that's because you're not really producing offensively. Like a big thing I look at is Asar Thompson. Like, not for like the whole entire series necessarily, but especially for tonight, the fact that you were only able to put up 6 points in 32 minutes, that does not help anyone out. Cade and Tobias Harris, they each played good. 39 minutes for Cade, 35 minutes for Tobias Harris. They had 25 and 20 respectively. Duren, 12 and 31 minutes is not great. Same for 7 and 29 for Duncan Robinson. Those aren't good numbers, but those are also more of your role-playing guys. Thompson's supposed to be one of your more high-production scorers. We need to figure out a way to get him back into the offense. Like, that would be, like, judging by how I watched this game tonight and how they lost such a close game, like, the difference in that is just, like, if Asar Thompson puts up double digits, even if he puts up 14 points, he gets 8 extra points, that wins them the game. I mean, he's just underproducing. And I don't know if it's just the playoff atmosphere. It's not like he's new to it. They were in it last year, too. They were the 6th seed going up against the Knicks, I'm pretty sure. Like, I just don't know what's going on with him. I mean, and because not only did he just take 8 shots, but he missed 6 of them. And, I mean, Duren only took 8 shots. Duncan Robinson only took 8 shots. I mean, Cade had to take 23 shots. He only made 7 of them. 3 of them were from three-point land. And Tobias Harris had to shoot 17. I mean, why are Cade and Tobias Harris taking all the shots? Like, we need to get a little more production. Like, we should be seeing 10 to 12 shots out of Thompson and Duren. We shouldn't just be seeing 8, especially when they're only making 2 of those shots. Like, when you're having a low production night like that, like, I get it, get the ball in your star's hands. But also, if you're cold, don't be afraid to take a shot. Go in, try to just, literally, not even as the figure of speech, just try to see one go through the hoop. I mean, you're a deep team. You're the 1 seed. You're a good team. You need to get your depth involved a lot more over the course of these last 3 games if you intend on winning this series against the Magic. Otherwise, it's an incredibly terrible choke job by Detroit. Like, there's no kind way to put it. Like, it's just because it's not like you don't have guys in that should be for you. I mean, from the looks of it, to me, you got all the guys you need and the guys that have been carrying you throughout the regular season for the most part. So, like, where did it all go? Why were you only able to win one of your first 4 against the 8-seeded Orlando Magic, who didn't even beat the 76ers in the play-in game? Like, that's how they were the 8th seed, because they weren't able to beat the 76ers, and they had to beat the Hornets. And you've lost 3 out of 4 to that team. Like, come on, Detroit. Like, that's why I wanted to lead off with Detroit, because I was really mad about it. I just got off watching this game. Thompson didn't shoot the ball enough. They need to spread the rock around. Their defense looks like pretty fine. Like, they're not giving up an exuberant amount of points. It's just, come on, Detroit. Oh, my heart rate's going to be like 2,000 after this episode ends, because I'm just going to be like uppity and upset at teams for doing dumb stuff and ranting. It's gonna be a lot, but I'm excited for it. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to go right into the second team, who's currently playing a game right now. I could just live call that game for you. Nope, I'm not going to do that because that would be copyright issues. I'm just going to talk about them. Let's get into the Denver Nuggets portion of this State of the Union special. Going to have to look up what the current score of that game is. The Nuggets currently lead the Anthony Edwards-less Minnesota Timberwolves by a score of 53-47 with 2:15 left in the second quarter. I'll see if there are any notable stats for you. Julius Randle's got 14 points here in this young game. Jokic, he's got 10 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. So he's looking pretty much like a shoo-in for a triple-double. And he's also going to be the guy who really just needs to stand head and shoulders above the rest in order for them to go out and win this series. I mean, what is the key to winning for the Denver Nuggets? Key to winning is Nikola Jokic. He's your best player. I think he's the best player in the world with what he's able to do at the center position and how he's able to just fill out the stats sheet in all shapes and sizes every single game. Like, he just stuffs the stat sheet. In my opinion, he's the MVP of the league this year. I just think he's been the most impressive basketball player doing the most impressive things. So that's why I have him as my MVP. And my MVP needs to get going. He's been playing solid in these first couple games against the Nuggets. I'm going to re-pull his numbers up here. All right. In Game 1 against the Timberwolves, Jokic had 25, 13, and 11. Triple-double. Boom. He was great. And, Jamal Murray had 30. It was a great game. That would be the only game the Nuggets won in the series, because now we move over to Game 2 and the numbers shift a little bit. So Jokic had 24, that's still good. Jamal Murray still had 30, but then you look at the supporting cast and Aaron Gordon played 37 minutes, but he only had 8 points. I mean, Aaron Gordon needs to be going. Aaron Gordon has turned into a real key player for this Denver Nuggets team over the last few years. He needs to turn it up a notch if they're going to want to continue to win games. Because then you move over to Game 3, and we look at the numbers. It doesn't look like Aaron Gordon played Game 3. All right, interesting. I didn't realize that. But Jamal Murray, he's down to only 16 points. Cameron Johnson only scoring 6. Christian Braun only scoring 2. Each of those guys played 24 minutes, so 48 minutes combined between those two, and they combined for 8 points. That's a problem. Like, Cameron Johnson and Christian Braun are big pieces of this team as well. Like, you need to look at those guys to, at least one of them's got to be pulling up double digits. I mean, Christian Braun didn't even make a shot from the field. Like, his 2 points were off foul shots. The key thing so far with these two basketball teams, not the only two basketball teams at the moment because we still have to get to the Rockets later, but so far it is really just the depth on this. Like, the stars are playing like how they should. Like, Jokic is playing fantastically, but you got to say it, he needs to play even more fantastically. Unfortunately, like, that's what it's come to. Like, you have to ask even more of Jokic because while the stars are doing their thing, not even like the bench depth, because it's not like guys 6 through 10 on the bench aren't exactly doing what they need to do. Like, it's your starters. Like, guys like 3 through 5 aren't doing what they're supposed to do. Like, you need more depth just out of your starters. Like, you need more out of your starters. Both of these teams, I'll say it for a third time, need more out of their starters. Their bench is doing formidable, not great, but like both like subpar, but not like terribly bad. It's just the fact that the guys you have out there playing 20, 30, almost 40 minutes some nights are putting up eight shots or 6 points or 2 points. That's a problem. Like, those guys who are getting all those minutes need to start being more productive. And I know it may sound elementary, like, oh, more points obviously, helps you win. Like, duh. But it's who's scoring the points, how they're passing the rock around, how they're creating shots for their teammates. Like, that all factors into why these guys aren't getting the production that they need to be in order for their teams to start winning. So to sum up those first 2 basketball points, Pistons, spread the rock around, get Oscar Thompson more shots, and Jalen Duren start putting up some more points. And then for the Denver Nuggets, Christian Braun and Cameron Johnson and Aaron Gordon, you all need to start being more productive, especially Johnson and Braun, who were basically like no-shows in Game 3. Whew. So that is that. The Denver Nuggets, you have just been crossed off the list and State of the Unionified. And now we're going to move on to our third State of the Union. It's the Seattle Mariners. I feel weird about this Seattle Mariners team. Because on one hand, like, they got the guys. They have an amazing rotation. Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, Brian Wu, just to name those 3. Like, those 3 in a rotation, you should be winning around, I guess, like, locked up 2 of every 5 games you play. Because with those 3 pitching at the top end of the rotation, you should almost be guaranteed 2 a week with those 3 guys. So then that means throughout the other 3, like, to be a good baseball team, you got to win 1 more. To be like an otherworldly baseball team, you have to win 2 more. Obviously, that wouldn't happen. But you are a subpar baseball team if you don't win any more than that. Like, every 5 games you play, if you win 3 of them, you're going to be one of the best teams in the league. If you only win 2 of them, you're going to be one of the worst. So honestly, with that rotation, just like picking up that extra game every 5 for the Mariners, when you think about it like that, would pay immense dividends, but they can't seem to do it. And a big reason why is that they have a terrible record against teams over 500. I'm going to pull it up here real quick. I believe it is like 6-10 against teams over 500. It is something that is not very good. It is, in fact, 6-10 against teams who are over 500. You can't have that. And I get it's the early goings of the season, but it's only going to be the early goings for so much longer. Like, every team's played about 30 games, has had about a month's worth of baseball under their belt. Like, we can't be blaming spring training anymore, or lack thereof for some players. Like, we're in it now. All these pitchers have had 4 or 5 starts, like some even 6. Like, we're here. We're in the season. So now when we start arising these problems, they're not, this is what's going on right now, but it can pass because there's a lot of time left. Because while, yeah, that's still true, now we have a larger body of work to reference whenever talking about these things. So how much longer are the Mariners going to struggle against these teams who are over 500? I mean, right now, they're lucky they're in a weak division because they're only 2 games back of the Athletics, who are 15-13. The Mariners currently sit at 14-16, but you're a terrible road team. You're 4-9 on the road. You're a game over 500 in your last 10, so 6-4 is better from when you were at 8-10 and scraping closer to the bottom of the division. But your guys aren't hitting. Raleigh's power hasn't been there that much this year, especially whenever you compare it to the fact that he hit over 60 last year. Like he between the postseason and the regular season, Cal Raleigh hit so many home runs it'll make your head spin. And now you watch him play this year, and you're like, that guy did that? Really? Like, he's just not there. Julio Rodriguez has been fairly underwhelming. Like, the offense just, to a point, hasn't really been supporting the pitching staff. But then on the other hand, like, the pitching staff hasn't really been that great either. I mean, they gave up 7 runs to the Twins tonight. And that was before I stopped paying attention in, like, the 5th inning. They had given up 7 runs. So there's problems on both sides of the ball. And when they're like, if you're dominant on one side of the ball but faltering on the other side, there are like, you're still going to be able to win some games because you have one of the two forces dominant. That might not be able to be withstood over months and months of an MLB season, but it'll at least get you like in the green. The Mariners look like they're going to be faulty on both sides throughout the course of this entire year. When you're faulty on both sides, that typically leads to losing more games than you win. So, plain and simple for the Mariners, they're not that injury riddled like this next team we're going to talk about, so I'm going to give them less slack, but you were the American League runners-ups. Runners up? I'm going to go with runners up. You were the American League runners up last year. And you were playing, like, you were looking like the Mariners of half a decade ago who hadn't been to the postseason in 20 years. Like, you don't look good right now. And I know I'm going really hard on a team that's only 2 games under 500. But look at the season they just came off of, winning the division. And through 30 games, they're not even 500. There's room for them to get better and grow, but I'm not buying any Mariners stock right now. I'll tell you that. I'm also not buying any stock of the next team we're playing. I would never buy their stock because I hate this team. But also, they're also just not very good right now. It's the Houston Astros. Graphic just went up there. Houston Astros. I faded it in. We're going to be talking about the Houston Astros. They are at the bottom of that AL West division. As I said, the Mariners were in third. They were ahead of both the Angels and the Astros. The Astros are ahead of nobody. They're 11-18. Right now, they're 3-10 on the road, 3-7 in their last 10. I think there is something to be said about the consistent trend I see so far with these teams not being that good on the road in the early goings. Now, part of it's matchup based, right? Like, when we take a look back at Houston's schedule, they played Cleveland on the road, but they won 2 of those games. Like, remind you, 3-10 on the road are the Houston Astros. 2 of those games they just won this week at Cleveland. So before that, they were 0-9 1-9 on the road. That's one of those problems I'm talking to you about. The other game they won on the road was against the Athletics. They crushed them 11-0. But outside of that, I mean, like, I'll take you back to this Athletic series to start. I mean, they gave up 11-0 and 12 runs to the Athletics in that 3-game series to start April. 11-0, 12. How bipolar of a pitching staff in Houston? Like, am I right? Like, 11 runs, 0 runs, 12 runs, 9 runs, 5 runs, and then 9 runs to the Rockies, by the way. They got swept by the Rockies in Colorado. Then you give up 9 to the Mariners, 8 to the Mariners, 6 to the Mariners, 6 to the Mariners. And then you play the Rockies again, you give up 6 and you win. 1-3. They took that series. They dropped game 3. But then, like, 9-7 is what they gave up to the Cardinals, and then 2-0-8 to the Guardians, 12-8-4 to the Yankees. I mean, I know I just threw a bunch of numbers at you, but I just wanted to hammer home the fact of this team cannot pitch. I've never seen, like, I could count on one hand how many games in April. Watch this. I'll count on one hand how many games in April they gave up less than 5 runs. They gave up 4 to the Yankees. They gave up 0 to the Guardians, 2 to the Guardians, 3 to the Rockies, 1 to the Rockies. Okay, April 1st, they gave up 4 to the Red Sox. So I guess you need 2 hands. I guess you need 6 fingers. But only 6 times you've given up less than 5 runs in the month of April. I mean, I was joking about it mostly on one hand, but when I got to the end, I was like, oh my God, I actually think it is going to be 5 or less times they've given up less than 5. Like, no offense can support, all right, team, all right, Houston, we need to go out and we need to score at least 6, 7, 8 runs a game if we want to be competitive with the guys we have thrown. I mean, that is just so unfeasibly unsustainable. Like, that's just bad. Like, Plain cut, simple. It's bad. Houston, you have a problem. It's your pitching staff. It sucks. That's basically it for the Houston Astros part. Just throwing a lot of numbers at you, letting you know that you cannot pay this team to pitch, even though some poor man out there, unfortunately, is paying the pitchers on these rosters to go out and throw games because they're abysmal. It's just bad pitching in Houston. Bad pitching in Houston. We're going to move on to the fifth topic now, fifth State of the Union. It's the Edmonton Oilers. Let's talk about the Edmonton Oilers, who are currently down 3-1 in the series against the Anaheim Ducks. Not exactly where you want to be. They're heading into Game 5 tomorrow. It's at home, so that's going to help them out at 10 p.m. I mean, they started off this series on the right foot. They won the first game 4-3. I mean, Jake Wallman, he had 2 points. Dickinson and Kasperi Kapanen each had 2 points too. Moving more down the list, Draisaitl had a pair of points. Podkolzin had a pair of points. Ekholm had a point. Emerson had a point. I mean, you don't even see Connor McDavid on there. He didn't have any points. He had 3 shots on goal, but they won the first game without any points from McDavid. 4 goals. Everyone was touching the puck. It was great. And then you move down to Game 2, and it's like, whoa, hold up. We lost 6-4. And then you kind of remember the goaltending woes that we've been bringing up this entire time about Edmonton, how they have Tristan Jarry, and I don't trust them, and I just don't think that the goaltending is going to hold up, but I thought their offense would be able to support them. But their main offensive player, Connor McDavid, he's not there through the first 2 games. 0 points through the first two games of this series. So early signs point to Connor McDavid, get things going. And then you remember the goaltending woes, and you look at the fact that they lost 7-4 in Game 3. Just an absolute walloping given to them by the Ducks. Connor McDavid finally got some points in this series, a goal and an assist. Draisaitl had 2 assists himself. But it was just like, you can't thwart 7 goals. Like, I get McDavid's good and you've been to back-to-back Stanley Cups, but 7 goals given up, like, it's tough enough to score 7. It's even harder to score 8 with 7 against you. So once again, bad goaltending by the Oilers, which we expected. And then obviously that crazy goal that happened in Game 4. Ducks win it 4-3. Just bad luck for the Oilers, but also, once again, goaltending. It's bad. McDavid, you had no goals. You had 2 points in 3 shots. You had a couple of assists. That's nice. Kapanen had a nice goal. Draisaitl notched a point too. But it's like, Connor McDavid has scored in 1 game this series. Like, I get stuff happens, and you can't expect him to be at the top of his game at all time. But you should be expecting him to score in more than 1 game over the course of the first 4 against Anaheim, especially since 2 of those were at home. I mean, McDavid needs to get on the board tomorrow and get going tomorrow just fully as a player if he wants any chance at advancing in the Stanley Cup Finals this year. But once again, we can talk about McDavid all we want and how his production hasn't really consistently been there. He's had some nice assists, but on the goal-scoring side of things, he hasn't really been there. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like they have it's like they have a piece of Swiss cheese in goalie right now. I mean, they can't stop anything. I mean, I'll crunch the numbers, but I think it's nearly 20 goals they've given up in these 4 games to the Ducks. 7, 4, 4, and 4. Yeah, 19 goals they've given up to the Ducks in 4 games. That's horrendous. Like, same thing kind of like I was talking about earlier with sustainability throughout the course of a season. It's the same thing for this playoff run. Like, your offense cannot support a goaltending core that is given up, or I'm sorry, the Ducks only scored 3 in Game 1, so they've given up 10. Oh, no, they have given up 20. Okay, I added wrong the first time. Yeah, because they went 3, 6, 7, and 4 goals. You've given up 20 goals to the Anaheim Ducks. You are not going to be able to sustain a team that gives up an average of 5 goals a game. You just can't do that over the course of a 7-game series. Yeah, you can win 1 here and there when you're doing that, but are you going to win 4 out of 7? I don't think so. So, unless that goaltending can really just like, for lack of a better term, just lock in and be better throughout the course of these next 3 games, it doesn't matter what McDavid does. He's not going to put up 7 goals a game with the Oilers. So, I mean, and unless he can, like, the goaltending is going to have to really tighten up, and I guess just McDavid's going to have to be special. So that's all I have on the Edmonton Oilers. I almost said the Houston Oilers again, and I don't know why, because I don't even think I've been alive at the same time the Houston Oilers have been a franchise. But last week I almost said it a few times. This week I got them sandwiched in between 2 Houston teams for the State of the Union special, because we're about to be talking about the Rockets. Just got done talking about the Astros. So with Houston, I got Houston on my mind, talking about the Oilers. I almost called them the friggin' Houston Oilers again. Bring back the Houston Oilers. Why not? Why not? Yeah, like, seriously, though. Like, Houston Oilers, like, I get you're the Houston Texans, but, like, just go back to the Oilers. And I know it's also kind of Tennessee, but I don't know. I always thought the Houston Oilers were just such a cool team. I loved, like, the aspect and the vibe of all this. I don't know why this has turned into me just, like, reminiscing about a team that I like, that I wasn't even alive while they were a team. But Houston Oilers are just cool. Give the Houston Oilers a little bit of praise here on episode 10. Bring back the Houston Oilers. All right, let's get it going. Moving into the 6th State of the Union of the episode. We're going to be talking about the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets are currently down 3-1 against the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I know Kevin Durant's been hurt, and he hasn't been in some of these games. I get that. But also, it's not like the Lakers have been at full strength. I mean, it's Rui, LeBron, and Ayton leading the pack, honestly. I mean, Game 4, it was nice. It was nice for Houston. Tari Eason had a big game with 20 points. Amen Thompson is actually shooting the ball and making shots, unlike his twin brother. He had 23 points in 41 minutes. Obviously, Kevin Durant did not play. Aaron Holiday, pretty nice off the bench, 19 minutes, 9 points. Jabari Smith Jr. had a nice 16. Sengun, 19 for him. That's what they need out of their team if they're going to keep going. Like I said, and it might sound remedial, and you might think, oh, this guy's never watched basketball before, and he's just talking out of his ass. Like, this, it's so simple. But once again, when we're criticizing these things, isn't part of it just like going back to the basics? I mean, bench depth, bench scoring, deep scoring, playing defense. Is it as simple as that? I feel like it is when we're putting it in layman's terms, but like I've done for the rest of these series, we'll do a little game-by-game breakdown. Game 1, when they lost by 9 points, Amen Thompson only had 17. Sengun and Jabari Smith Jr. were consistent, just barely missing out on 20. Tari Eason had 16. Reed Shepard had 17. But then on the other side, giving up 27 to Luke Kennard is really what lost you the first game. A bunch of Lakers up in double digits. 5 Lakers all scored double-digit points. LeBron and Ayton each almost had 20. I mean, the defense is just not there for a team that's missing basically its 2 biggest offensive threats in Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. And then you went and you gave up almost 30 to LeBron in Game 2, almost 30 to Marcus Smart, almost 25 to Luke Kennard. And then you look at your side of things. Yeah, Kevin Durant played. He had 23. Wasn't enough. Sengun had 20. That was nice. Amen Thompson, 16. Jabari Smith Jr., 18. It's like you only lost by 7, so you played him close. But you can't be giving up almost 30 to Marcus Smart and 40-year-old Braun. Like, I get playoff Braun, however way you want to cut it, but you can't be giving up almost 30 to them when that's their entire offense. Like, you have to do a better job at mitigating it. You know, if you're the Houston Rockets, that there's a good chance that Doncic and Reeves come back in this series and make things even hard for you on defense. So how were you not able to capitalize on this against guys who are just like secondary and tertiary scorers on this team? I mean, how do you give up 30 to Marcus Smart and 23 to Luke Kennard and damn near 30 to Braun too? Like, it's the third time I've asked this question, but I still don't get it. Like, that game too, in my opinion, while you have Durant, you lose that because of your piss poor defense. Like, that's just terrible. And then talk about a heartbreaker in game 3, losing for the Rockets, that is. It's a great win for the Lakers. Losing by 4 at home in what wasn't actually a must-win, but what was basically a must-win because you don't want to go down 3-0. You almost give up 30 to Bron again. You give up 21 to Marcus Smart. You're able to silence Luke Kennard down to 14, and you only gave up 2 to DeAndre Ayton. You held DeAndre Ayton to 2 points, and you still lose. Like, if you have Kevin Durant in that game, you probably win. So that's where I'll give the Rockets the benefit of the doubt with Kevin Durant the one time, because they only get it one time, because they won a game, they lost a game with him. The first game was inexcusable. This one I give them the benefit of the doubt. A 4-point loss in overtime at home. I do think they win this game with Kevin Durant. But like I said, on the defensive side of things, you can't be letting Marcus Smart put up 20 on you, almost 30 on you consistently. And same with LeBron. Like, I get LeBron's greatness, but you have to force yourself to slow them down. I mean, how can you, like, you lost a game where DeAndre Ayton played 33 minutes and scored 2 points. Their starting center scored 2 points, and you lost that game. And it looks like they tightened up a little bit more on defense for game 4. I'll give them that. It wasn't super pretty, but they did tighten up. They beat them handily. They beat them by 19. They finally got a handle on LeBron and held him down to 10 points. Rui 13, 8 and 19. They did it with Smart too. They got him down to 9. Like, I'm not saying they're going to come back 3-0, right? I think the Rockets are probably dead in the water just because it looks like Luka or Reeves or both are going to come back during this series and probably just put the nail in the coffin. But if you are going to try to come back from down 3-0, you need to continue to lock up LeBron and Marcus Smart. I mean, those are the two guys that have been giving you all the business consistently. So you need to find a way to silence those two guys and not let that continue to happen. Now, it's going to get a lot tougher to mitigate the entire offensive threat that is the Lakers whenever Luka and Reeves get back. But for the time being, as long as they're not on the floor, just hone in on LeBron and Smart and Kennard. Like, this is 40-year-old Bron. This is not 2013 Bron. This is Lakers Marcus Smart. This is just Luke Kennard. Like, these are not the best players in the league. These are not offensive superstars who dominate every time they touch the floor. Like, LeBron excluded, because obviously he's one of the greatest players of all time. But, like, this season, he hasn't been that. So, Houston, your other problem was pitching. Your problem here is defending Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard, and LeBron James when you don't even have to worry about Luka and Reeves. I mean, it should be a lot easier for you to do that. I'm still unclear on why you had so much trouble. That, and you just need a little more depth with your scoring. Now moving on to the 7th topic, our main State of the Union, the team that I feel deserves to be put on blast more than any other today. It's the Philadelphia Phillies. Boy, oh boy, are the Phillies bad. Let me tell you about it. So I'm going to pull up the Phillies record right here. They're 9-19. They have officially claimed last place in the division. They're tied with the Mets, but through whatever tiebreaker is in effect that I don't know about right now, that has led the Phillies to go down into 5th. They're 1-9 in their last 10, and I will fact check, but I'm pretty sure that streak is much worse whenever you factor in how many they lost before that. They lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games in a row before that. They beat the Cubs 13-7, and then they lost 2 to the Cubs, then 3 to the Braves, then 4 to the Cubs, and then 2 out of 3 to the Braves. They won the middle game. Braves won the bookends of that 3-game set. Now, you can look at this and just be like, all right, you only played the Braves and the Cubs over this losing streak, right? Like, they've only played 2 teams. It's not like they're playing a bunch of different teams and everyone is finding ways to beat the Phillies. 2 teams over the course of this 12-game span have just had their number. That happens sometimes. But those are 2 the Braves are like a powerhouse. So I get losing to the Braves, but once again, it's a divisional rival. You should beat them more than one time over the course of all those games. The Cubs, I'd say, are like a fairly even match with you. And ever since you beat them 13-7, they just started beating your brain in, like, every time you played. Like, it didn't even really feel that competitive. You had that one game where it was, I think it was 7-6 going into the ninth. Adolis Garcia game-tying home run in the top of the ninth after, I think, Seiya Suzuki hit a game-time or a go-ahead home run in the bottom of the eighth that game. And then you get into extras. Dansby Swanson, I'm pretty sure he was the one who walked it off. I mean, they're losing the close games too. They're getting blown out, but then they were also getting put in close game situations where they had the ability to win, and they were still losing. That's bad. They also, more than any other team in this in baseball this season, I saw this via John Boy Media, they score in one inning, only one inning, more than any other team in baseball. What I mean by that is, like, there are 9 innings at least in a game, and they score in only one of them. So, like, they'll only score in the 5th inning. Maybe they'll put up 4 runs in the 5th, but, like, they'll only score in the 5th. Like, they consistently are only putting up runs in one frame over the course of all their games. It's something that I've really never seen before, and a stat I've really never paid attention to. But whenever you see it laid out in front of you like that, like, yeah, that's an issue if in almost half your games you're only scoring in one of the 9 innings. That's not going to win you games. Your stars have been underperforming. Adolis Garcia, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Alec Boehm, Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, Christopher Sanchez. I mean, none of these guys are really playing super insanely lights out great. I mean, Johan Duran has been pretty solid this year, but he also hasn't had too many high-pressure closing situations he's had to deal with because the Phillies just keep losing. So it's not, like, you can't say he's been, like, super clutch or anything this year, but, like, Johan Duran feels like the only one on that Phillies team to me that has truly lived up to expectations through the first month. Everyone else has just been extremely subpar. I mean, when you think about, like, the payroll of the Phillies and then the fact that team has a worse record through the first month of the season than the Marlins and the Nationals, and I think the Rockies actually have a better record than the Phillies. I'm like pretty sure. Yeah, the Rockies are 13-16. The Phillies are 9-19. If that doesn't put it into perspective for you, I don't know what does. The White Sox, they're terrible, and they still have 2 more wins than the Phillies. Sorry, I laughed at that because I couldn't believe that the White Sox are actually doing better than the Phillies. Red Sox, Blue Jays, Astros, like Royals, all these teams I'm telling you are at the bottom of their divisions and still have better records than the Phillies. The only team that doesn't have a better record than the Phillies is the Mets, and they have the same record as the Phillies in the bottom of that division. They're the worst team in baseball. The Phillies are statistically, record-wise, the worst team in baseball. With all that money they spend, I'll say the names for you again: Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Alec Boehm, Adolis Garcia, Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, Christopher Sanchez, Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola. All of those guys are on the Phillies. Every last one of them. Johan Duran, too. Every last one of those guys is on the Phillies, and they've won 9 games out of their first 28. Tied for the worst record in baseball, and the worst record in the National League, of course. Bottom of your division, you're like a week away from panic time. Like, legit panic in May. Like, you never want legit panic in May, but I'm going to say this, and I might revisit this next week. I don't know. It'll depend on how they do. But the Phillies are 9-19 right now. If they get to 25 losses before they get to 12 wins, you might just be able to pencil them in for missing the playoffs. And I would be willing to call that this early. If they get to 25 losses before they get to 12 wins. So if they go 2-6 over their next 8 games, I'm fully out on the Phillies. All year I'll be out on the Phillies. So that was my main State of the Union because they have one of the highest payrolls and one of the worst teams in baseball. I mean, they're coming off being the 2 seed. in the NL and getting embarrassed by the Dodgers, quite frankly, in the division series. But like, I didn't think that would spell this much bad news for him. And like I said, I'm not out on him yet because there can still be moments to see signs of life. But if you go over 12 games under 500 this early and lose 25 games before you win 12, I'm sorry, I'm just out, because you'll be under a 300 winning percentage too through nearly 35 games if that happened, like 37 games in the scenario I'm talking about. You got to figure it out, Philadelphia, or there's going to be a lot of question marks, potentially a lot of fire sales, and a lot of not so happy good vibes going on in the streets of Philly. And with how angry we know Philadelphia fans can already get even when their teams are doing good, the last thing that city needs is the Phillies to suck. But now we're going to move to the other side of the great state of Pennsylvania before ping-ponging back to it. We're going to be talking about two teams who are in the same playoff series. That's right. We're going to lead off talking about my favorite team in the NHL, and then I'll finish by talking about my least favorite team in the NHL. I'm going to try not to cross over points too much between the two sections, but one team's trying to claw back from 3-0, the other team's trying to not let it happen. It's like the two kids are fighting, and I need to sit down and talk to both of them so they can figure this out. Because, boy, these teams have been fighting a lot. Enough setup, enough build. Let's get right to it. Pittsburgh Penguins. Hey, Penguins, great job winning Game 5. Great job winning Game 5, and great job winning Game 4. But let's not forget why we got into this spot. We had no offense the first 3 games. Philadelphia had us figured out, and I don't know exactly what change we've made since then, because I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest hockey aficionado. Like, I'm just watching the games pretty casually. So if like something minor's happening that a lot of you bigger hockey fans can pick up on, and it's like, oh no, the Pens are doing this differently, so that's why there's more opportunities that are being created for them on offense, let me know, because I'm not exactly picking up on that. But what mostly I'm just seeing is like a change in pace of play. It seems like the Pens are moving a lot faster, a lot more confident through the offensive zone. They're getting a lot more shots up than they were in the first 3 games. Like, these last 2 games, they've been producing very well offensively. You have to keep that going. Like, you have to continue that pace and that pressure on Philadelphia. Vladar looked a little rattled tonight. I'm not saying he looked bad. He did a pretty good job behind the net tonight, or in the net tonight. I guess if he was behind the net, he'd be doing a terrible job because, well, all the pucks would just go in. But in the net tonight, I thought he did pretty solid. He wasn't letting that much past him. He had that one weird bouncer that went in, but he looked a little like he was starting to feel the pressure. Not that he played bad. I just feel like you could tell that he was starting to realize, like, we got to win. Like, we got to just get this last game. Like, we got to see one go through the hoop. I feel like you could kind of see that tonight, and that's because the Pens are playing faster. They're getting more consistent shots off on Vladar and this Philadelphia Flyers defense. I don't know if that's because the Phillies defense isn't exactly playing that hard, or if it's because we've just found a crack in their defense. I'm going to kind of talk about the flip side of all this immediately after this, once I get into the next half of this. But Slovis has been great in net too. We've kind of dipped away from Skinner these last 2 games. We've won these last 2 games. I don't want to take any confidence away from Stuart Skinner or make him think that he's not the guy, because I think he is a very good goaltender, and he's going to help out the Penguins if they're able to make it past the Flyers and continue to go on a playoff run, which I hope they do, because that Sidney Crosby jersey, I always point at the wrong side. That Sidney Crosby jersey just got pointed up there, and I'd like for it to stay there for a while, because like I said, I'm adding another Penguins jersey up here every time they win a playoff series, so hopefully I get to add Evgeny Malkin after a hopeful Game 7 against the Flyers. But I'll return back to the main points I was making. I mean, they can go out and win this series. It's there for the taking. I mean, you were down 3-0, right? Hard one to win is Game 4. The second hardest of the 4 games you need to win down 3-0 when you're the higher seeded team is Game 4. You're on the road. You're in danger of being swept. You have absolutely no confidence. You haven't beaten the team yet. You're looking like you're getting manhandled. And you're in a hostile environment. But you're able to win that game. Then you come back home, Probably the easiest game to win is Game 5. You have a little bit of confidence. You're back home. You've seen one go through the hoop. You got a little bit of mojo to you, you know? Like, you got some stuff you're starting to figure out. And now you're like, all right, we beat these teams twice. And then it goes to the hardest game to win, in my opinion, which would be the next game, Game 6. Now, you've already won a must-win game on the road this very series, not even a week ago. So you've proven to yourselves and your organization and all the guys in your locker room that you can do this because you have already gone out there and done it. But it's not just because you've done it once doesn't mean you can do it again. All right. Like it's going to be tough to win for the Penguins. It's going to be tough to win in Philadelphia with all those angry, riled up Philly fans getting like booing, yelling at Sidney Crosby, making the Pens players feel like they're in hell. I mean, they're going to be loud and it's going to be rowdy in Philly, and it's going to be tough for them to win. But if they're able to win that game, then you get to Game 7 at home and you have all the momentum at your back. You were down 3-0. You tied it up and you're going back home. I mean, Game 7 is, if you get to Game 7, it should be like your game. It's the Penguins' game to lose if they make it to Game 7. I get Philadelphia would have blown a 3-0 lead to get to this point. You'd think maybe it's their game. It's Philadelphia's game to lose. It's the Penguins' game to win if it goes Game 7. No, it's not. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. The Pens have it. Philly's losing it. So State of the Union for the Pens. That's how you're going to need to figure out and go out and win these next 2 games if you want to advance to play the Carolina Hurricanes in the second round. Now we're going to talk about the flip side of things. And I'm going to try not to be biased or like too joyous, but I'm going to try to pick apart the Flyers at the same time because obviously I'm rooting for the Penguins to win and the Flyers to lose, but I still need to be an objective journalist at times, you know? I need to let the bias go by the wayside, and I need to prepare to talk about our final State of the Union of the State of the Union special. I like this State of the Union special. I think this is pretty fun. I did minimal notes for this. Like I said, I just had Google tabs open and ideas because I just wanted it to be, you know, more free-flowing. I just kind of riff and run through my thoughts on these teams. I thought that would kind of be more of a fun way to do it. And I think it's paying off. I'm having a good time this episode. We'll see how it performs, obviously, you know, in the feedback I get. But if you want more of these like special type episodes, let me know. I can definitely do them. I threw this one together on a whim and it's turned out pretty good. So I'm open to anything. Let me know. I think these kind of things are fun. But like I was saying, it is time for our final team on the State of the Union of the State of the Union special. It's the Philadelphia Flyers, the team on the other side of this 3-0 deficit. They were the team that had the 3-0 lead, and what changed? Well, when you won those first 3 games, you were just lights out on defense. You were capitalizing on chances that you had that were not exactly few and far between. The Penguins' defense wasn't there a lot. They were giving up a good amount of shots, but I believe they had a shorthanded goal. They got a lot more settled in with their power play. They got settled in with their power play earlier in the series, I believe, than the Penguins did, which really allowed them to capitalize on more chances than the Penguins. But all that kind of went by the wayside. I mean, the penalties are still there. There is a ridiculous amount of penalty minutes that have been dished out in this series. I mean, they literally cannot stop fighting. I meant to say this in the Penguins portion too, but both teams, like, keep your hands to yourself, all right? I get it's hockey, but both ends, like, you're just hitting each other so many times and playing such dirty hockey that at what point do you put it aside and realize this is the Stanley Cup playoffs and I'm hurting my team by constantly finding myself in the penalty box? Like, I get emotions flare, and this is one of the biggest rivalries in hockey, and you hate the other guy, and this is already a sport where people fight. None of that is lost on me. But at the same time, it's like, dude, stay out of the penalty box. Like, one team is trying to come back from 3-0. The other team is trying not to blow a 3-0 lead. And I think now we're finally starting to see that level a little bit. But in the early goings of this series, fists were just flying. And I don't think it was really benefiting either side. But the Flyers need to tighten up on defense. The Pens have gotten a lot more chances, and whatever they've been doing to do that, if you want to stop them, you need to retighten back up on defense. And I'm not just talking about the goaltending. I'm talking about the D linemen on that team. Like, it's like baffling to me. Like, I think Philadelphia can genuinely blow this because they also kind of look tired and defeated on defense. Like, they got comfortable up 3-0, and now the Penguins are just playing with a fire that they can't match. I'm not saying that's a fact, but, like, that's kind of how they look right now. Like, they don't look as fierce and menacing. They just don't look like a fierce and menacing defense like they did in the first 3 games of this series. And even in the early goings of Game 4. It just feels like... Sorry, I'm coughing a bunch. But I think it's my allergies. I think it's starting to get to allergy season, the sinuses and stuff. I think it's nice weather, but I think we're finally at allergy season point, which I'm not a huge fan of. But the Flyers look like they've softened up on defense a little bit, and the Penguins are finding their groove now, and now the Penguins have all the momentum. Like, you have lost all the momentum. The last glimmer of hope at momentum you have is just the home crowd at Game 6. I mean, you as players have got nothing because now you're just worrying. You're not in, like, even in win mode anymore. You're in try not to lose mode because no one wants to be the team that blew a 3-0 lead. Like, everyone makes the 3-1 jokes. God, 3-0 is horrendous lead to blow. Like, because you have to lose 4 straight. So the Flyers are thinking about that. They don't want to be those people. I think maybe the nerves are getting to them, and that's part of the reason maybe why the defense is faltering. Maybe they're not as confident. They're trying to overplay things. It could go a lot of ways, but the Flyers just have looked like a different team in the back half of Game 4 and Game 5 so far against the Penguins. And as the Penguins continued to gain momentum, I think that's just going to make the Flyers look worse and worse, honestly. We'll see if I'm right. I don't know if things are going to shake out that way, but you can't let that happen, Philly, if you don't want the boys in black and gold to embarrass you, all right? You have to tighten up unless you want to get embarrassed in front of the entire hockey world. I want you to get embarrassed in front of the entire hockey world, but, I'm going to tell you how to not let that happen. That's what I just did. But Game 6 in Philly, it's going to be a good one. A lot at stake for both of these teams. And that's it. That's the end of the State of the Union special. It was a good one. We talked about the Pistons and the Nuggets and the Mariners and the Astros and the Oilers and the Rockets and the Phillies and the Penguins and the Flyers. 9 teams all got broken down, ridiculed, yelled at, given constructive criticism. We took care of a whole starting lineup worth of State of the Unions to celebrate 10 episodes of Givin Takes, the double-digit milestone. And before we get in the top 10, I'll let you know, too, that keep subscribing. When I get to 100 subscribers, it's a special episode with a special guest that I've had planned out since I've started, and I've just been waiting to hit 100. So I want to put this video out. I'm excited to do it. If you want to see it, too, subscribe to this channel right now. Pause the video. Don't pause the video. Maybe do it when you're done with the video if you don't have a short attention span and you're not going to forget that I told you to do it. But just find time. We're at like 77. We only need 23 more to hit that 100 subscriber mark. Let's make it happen, because then a fun episode comes out of it that I know literally all of you are going to like. I'm not going to say what it is yet, because I would like for it to be a surprise. But if we get to a point where we're not hitting that 100 and I got to pull out a big gun, I'll let you know what the reward is when we hit the mark. But it's time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the top 10. Yeah, the 10th top 10. That means it's going to be a top 100 today. No, it's not. You know the topic already. It's the top 10 sports months. Once again, much like last week, no pictures for this top 10 this week. I promise you, one of the weeks coming up, I'll find a topic that I can actually put pictures up for, but it's just names of months. I don't think you really need to see that. It would just be putting up text that says, like, February, But we're not going to do that. It's just going to be me on the screen of my little top 10 banner up top. But we will get back to photos in the top 10 soon. I just need a topic that allows for it. But let's get it going. I have honorable mentions on here. They're not really honorable mentions, but they're just the 2 months that missed the cut. August and July did not make the cut. Both are just It's just baseball in July, and while I love baseball, like, it's just baseball. So while I love it, there's nothing else, so it can't make the top 10. It's only one sport. In August, you have baseball, and it's starting to become more important baseball because you're getting into August, and like you have like little sprinkles of football starting and spring training and that, but like outside of that, it's neither are anything special. At number 10 is February. This is the month of the Super Bowl, and we also have some college basketball ramping up. We have NHL, we have NBA. Good sports month, you know? If it wasn't for the Super Bowl, I might not even have it in the top 10, honestly. I would legitimately think about maybe giving it to August instead, because I'd say July is worst for sure. July 12th, August 11th. I don't know why I struggled with that. July 12th, August 11th. Those sound like dates. They're not. They're rankings. But February at 10th, it's carried by the Super Bowl all the way in to the lowest spot on the list. It's fine. Not too many meaningful sports. Some stuff ramping up. You're starting to get hype, you know. Spring training too. Like, it's a big month of anticipation because you get done with the Super Bowl and then you just wait for the good stuff to start. So that's why February's at 10th. At 9th, I have September. September, you got college football starting up. You got pro football in swing. Baseball, it's September baseball, so that's good baseball when anything can happen. That's always fun. It's mainly carried by those three things. NBA and NHL usually don't start until October. So, in like playoff clinching baseball, basically, the start of college football, start of the NFL, pretty good sports month. It's not nearly the best by any means, but still a really solid sports month. At number 8, I'm going with May. May is nice because you're in the thick of the NBA and NHL playoffs. We're talking like second round conference finals. You're in full swing with baseball. You get a major in May when you're talking about golf. I'm pretty sure the PGA I think the US Open is in May usually. I struggled with that for a second. I think it's the US Open that's in May. So it's like you get a major, you get baseball, you're in the thick of two great playoffs, a little College World Series starting to happen, you know. I mean, it's a good sports month. I would maybe, if I were to go back and redo this, maybe put it below September. 8 and 9 were tricky for me to rank, but all in all, good sports month, and that's the next sports month, so, you know, get to look forward to the 8th best sports month. But we're currently in the 7th best sports month that's winding down. I got April in the 7th spot. You get the Masters. You get the Final Four and the championship for college basketball. You get MLB getting going. You get the NBA playoffs starting. You get the NHL playoffs starting. Basically, the first round of each of those is damn near completed in May or in April. What a great sports month. I mean, we all just got done watching all the sports we watched this month because also on top of that, we have NBA and NHL regular seasons as well. Absolutely fantastic sports month. We had so much fun stuff to talk about and cover on the last month of this show that it was pretty obvious to me that this one had to be ranked at least somewhere near the middle of the pack. Because it's not the best by any means, but given the sheer amount of volume we get in terms of sporting events in the month of April, it's purely just chef's kiss. You got to love it. And also it got boosted a little bit because it has the Masters, because the Masters are just amazing. At 6th on our list, we got January. January, you got the college football playoff, or mostly just, I think you get a playoff game and the national championship in January now with how it's changed, but you get college football playoffs, you get NFL playoffs, you get college basketball, NHL, NBA. It's a pretty damn good sports month, and it's always fun because bowl season too is wrapping up. I mean, like, because, you know, you got like the New Year, I guess the New Year's 6 bowls are technically also just college football playoff games now, but those still happen, you know, some of them still happen in the New Year's, and you get all the other bowl games. So a lot of fun stuff going on in January. Great way to kick off the year. A lot of great stuff to watch and bet on. It's found my way to number 6 on the list. And number 5, my birth month. Yeah. Shout out to June, baby. It's June 5th. I love June sports. You get the championships for both the NHL and NBA season. You get the college baseball World Series. You get the first month of baseball where everyone's really hitting their strides in June. I mean, I think June is World Cup month this year. I know, and I didn't count the Olympics because they're not every year. That probably would have helped out February a little bit, but not a lot. But June, you got some fun stuff. I think I like it more than some of these earlier months have had more stuff going on. But I think just the weight and the gravity of NBA finals and Stanley Cup finals, and obviously then on top of that, you're having baseball every day. I think all that is just what makes June come into 5th on this list, is because there's so much at stake during the month of June. Stanley Cup and the Larry O'Brien are on the line every single June. So I just think with 2 of the 4 major North American sports wrapping up their seasons around the same time in the same month, that's got to be good for something, and it's good for 5th on my list. At number 4, we got November. November is a great month. Football is in full swing, both at the professional and collegiate level. NBA has gotten going. College hoops have started up. NHL's moving. You get the back end of the World Series. You got if there's a game 6 or 7 necessary, you got those in November. It's a great time to watch sports. And Thanksgiving football, of course, is super amazing. Everyone loves Thanksgiving football. It's just a great month. The fall, the back end of the year is definitely the best time of the year for sports collectively. The 3-month stretch of October to December, I mean, you could tell because of how I've done the list. All 3 of those months made the top 4, so they're doing something right. But November is the worst of those 4, but the 4th best of all 12 months. What a good month, November. Number 3 is its counterpart right behind it. It's December. You get Christmas Day basketball. You get a bunch of bowl games in December. Once again, full seasons of NBA and NHL and NFL. This is the point of the NFL and college football playoff season where everyone's talking about clinching. Playoffs are on the line during this month. Every moment is just made bigger because of that too. We're talking this is when we're in week 16, 17 of the NFL season. This is when we're getting to, all right, who are the bowl games going to be, and what are the AP voters deciding on for who's going to be in the college football playoff. It's a big time for speculation and predictions as well. A very fun time to analyze what's going on with a bunch of football teams. I really enjoy that. And also you just get the fun snow vibes of Christmas and stuff. How can that not help? It's just watching football in the snow is fantastic. December, number 3 on the list. Number 2, this was a late swap. I originally had this at number 1, and then I moved it back down to number 2, right now, actually. It was as I, not right now, but as I started recording, I was you know what? I'm going to switch that. I have March 2nd. March is a great month. Baseball gets ready to kick off. This month we had the World Baseball Classic. We don't have it every year, but it's still fun when we do. Conference tournaments, March Madness, NBA and NHL going throughout it as well. I mean, it's a great month, and it's carried so hard by March Madness, but that's okay because it happens so often during the month. I mean, 4 straight days of nonstop college basketball, then you get the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, and I know the back part of it bleeds into April like we talked about earlier, but those days are some of the most fun days to watch sports out of the year. Opening day for MLB, it's always the vibes around baseball on opening day are always just the best. Unless your team starts 0-1, then they're the worst. But opening day is really fun. March Madness is really fun. Springtime is in full swing. You're paying attention to who's going to be clinching spots for the NHL and NBA playoffs. It's an important sports month and a fun one. So that's why it's found its way onto number 2 on our list. And number 1 on the list, it's October, baby. October! It is number 1 on the list. you have the World Series. Maybe not like the last couple games. They might bleed into November. But you have all of the MLB playoffs. NHL and NBA get going. Football is in full swing once again on both the professional and collegiate level. I mean, nothing beats it. Truly nothing beats it. I mean, the sports equinox happens every October. That's a fun thing too, where you get NBA, NHL, MLB, and NFL all on the same day. Each of the 4 major North American sports all playing on the same day happens. I think it's not like a set date, but like I think it typically happens only one day a year because it's usually during the World Series where this lines up. So there's only one baseball game most days, or there's only one baseball game every like 2 or 3 days. So just the way all the scheduling lines up with there only being so many days a week with NFL games. But it's not a set date, but the sports equinox is really cool. And to me, that's fitting because that's just like the peak and the summit of sports viewing throughout the year. You get to that day where you get all the sports at once. It's so much fun. It's so unique. You have so much going in October. It's just, you really can't beat watching sports in October. It's the best sports month, and I'm gonna be overloaded with stuff to talk about whenever this show gets to October. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna run those 10 back for you. I'm gonna run that sentence back for you real quick. I'm gonna run these 10 picks back for you real quick. 10 best sports months. Number 10, February. Number 9, September. Number 8, May. Number 7, April. Number 6, January. Number 5, June. Number 4, November. Number 3, December. Number 2, March. And number 1 is October. Whew. And that's it. That's all I got for this special 10th episode of Givin Takes, the State of the Union special. I ranted and complained about 9 different teams today across the NBA, NHL, and MLB. Tried to keep it fairly even, doing like 3 apiece. And come to think of it, I might have actually... Yeah, I actually did do 3 apiece. I didn't even intend for that. But yeah, I had 3 NBA teams, 3 MLB teams, and 3 NHL teams. I actually like how that worked out. I didn't even realize I did that until just now. But it all worked out well and good. And if you want to see this face and hear this voice more often than you already do, remember, Unnecessary Wagers every Friday at 5 p.m. You can catch me and my co-host Connor Rowland on that. Hitting for the Cycle. Most of the time it is Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. Sometimes the date fluctuates to Friday. I will always let you fine lovely viewers know if that happens. Some Sundays throughout May, you can catch me on the Empty the Bench Lounge. I believe that is 5 p.m. on Sundays. I won't be doing it next week, so whenever I'm able to confirm that, I will put that on the 11th episode of Givin Takes. I will let you all know about that. But some Sundays in May, once I get the dates confirmed, I'll tell you. You can catch me on the Empty the Bench Lounge. And as always, you're going to be able to catch me right here on Givin Takes every week. Just you and me and the Andrew McCutcheon... Pointing on the wrong side again, and the Andrew McCutcheon bobblehead that sits back there. And you know what? I'm going to give a moment for the bobbleheads. You don't get to see them in all their glory all the time. Take a great look at those bobbleheads. Got Andrew McCutcheon, Roberto Clemente, Sidney Crosby, Willie Stargell, Yogi Berra, Shohei Ohtani. You got Sidney Crosby on top with the Casey Hampton signed football. Starling Marte. You got Mario Lemieux, Satchel Paige, and then, of course, Willie Stargell. Figure it's been 10 episodes. The bobbleheads deserve some love. And I just realized I didn't move the mic with me, so I hope that was loud enough, or I might have to edit that in post. But that's it. That's all I had. I had fun talking to you today. You saw my bobblehead, so that's a big step for our relationship. And as always, I've been Nate Miller. Those are my takes.